had to be pleasing for him. What was not pleasing was obviously that the team did go down 2 goals in the opening 60-65 minutes, but the response was good from Los Angeles.
Jim Watson, Mark Rogandino, Jackie Pickering, and it's Colorado and their traveling Maroons. First time through, and a goal quickly by Connor Casey. We told you before, he is a Galaxy killer. Saunders was late coming off the line, missed it with his fingertips, and it was just a bang-bang. Connor Casey right on the doorstep, rang the bell.
Well, if the Galaxy were not alive from the get-go in the opening whistle, they will be now. There's mistakes all over the field in this one. First, Cummings gets in behind the defense. Tony Sane doing his best to get back. But look at that, 2 players in Gonzalez and Saunders trying to get to that ball. I think Saunders would be the first to tell you he probably should have anticipated that ball across the area, got down to his right and picked it out before it gets to the back post.
Mark, that just looks like bad communication between a back line and a keeper who have not played together very much. 17 seconds in, and Colorado leads 1-0.
I think to agree, yes, you're correct, Jim, that it is bad communication, but Saunders has got to anticipate. There's no angle for Cummings really to try and fire a shot in to beat him at the near post. He has to kind of cheat a little bit. Goalkeepers will all tell you, when you get a guy down in that corner, he's got no angle, you cheat out off the post a little bit, anticipating that cross, because if he does go to the near post, you do have enough time to get back down on that side and make the save.
Sean Franklin now trying to answer back for the Galaxy. A lot of shirt pulling right there. The Galaxy, by the way, I don't know that we've seen this get-up, this kit at home with the blue shorts and the white tops. And if the start is any indication, I don't know if we'll see it again.
I was going to say exactly that when they walked out on the field here tonight to get ready for this one. I hadn't seen the white jerseys and white socks with the blue shorts, although I like it, old school Tottenham Hotspur look.
Oh, very good. And play this one back to Saunders, and he has to run to keep this ball in and play it off his head. And keep it in? I guess he did.
Not before a whistle up here in front of the benches.
Yeah, they whistled it dead even before that. Let's go down and check in with Jackie once again.
Thanks, Jim. Well, you know, I was talking to Rapids head coach Gary Smith before the game about the health of Connor Casey, because as you know, he's been nursing back that foot injury. He said that Connor did practice with the team this week. It was a very minimal practice. He actually only practiced the last 2 days with the team. Obviously, the foot not being a problem since he was able to score that goal right off the top.
Connor Casey leads the team in shots. That was his first goal of the season. He battled back from an ACL last year, but every time we have seen Colorado, Connor Casey has found some way to get himself into the scoring formula, either by scoring. Remember that 4-0 win at Commerce. I mean, he was just dominating. He was buzzing in the box.
Well, I think he could have had 2 broken feet and probably would have still been able to find a way to put that one in the back of that. He was all alone on the back post. And it starts with the speed of Cummings. That was one of the keys to the game that we hit right off the top in the pregame show, is that Connor Casey and Omar Cummings, a good combination of a big target presence in Casey, and then you have the overlapping runs from Cummings, and we saw it right from the get-go as they tried to get Cummings in behind the defense, and it was successful.
So now a lot of pressure, and there's already been a lot of focus on the Galaxy back line. Tony Sane, of course, is the guy who's going to anchor that. You have the young kids are back there. Sean Franklin was Rookie of the Year, but boy, just a quick transition goal by Colorado right off the kickoff. 17 seconds. And we'll have to go into the record book, but I can't imagine the Galaxy have ever given up a quicker goal, have they?
Maybe in Major League Soccer, I don't know if there's been that many that quick.
That's amazing. Preston Burpo in goal for Colorado, of course. We've seen him many times. He was 5-6-2 last year with the goals against that was much better than his record, 185. Colorado had one of the best defenses in all of MLS last year. Second best in allowing shots. Donovan trying to work for that one right there. And Alan Gordon a little bit late coming in. Also had a chance at a loose ball, and they forced Burpo to kick it over the touchline. It'll be a throw-in for LA.
Preston Burpo spent some time with Chivas USA in his career, and you know, really, when you talk about him, he's one of the best career backups, I think, in Major League Soccer for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, there's not a lot of drop-off when he gets the nod. See the Galaxy now pushing numbers forward. And we knew coming into the season that the Galaxy would be a defensive-based team and that goals would come at a premium. But when you give one up early at home, it's cause for concern. And so now the Galaxy going to press forward just a little bit. Kyle Patterson, of course, played very well in his debut against DC and actually had the great service into the box to Landon Donovan for the game-tying header, and Donovan was behind everybody, and he was right on the doorstep himself and just punched that one with his forehead right into the back of the net. Donovan scored 2 goals, the other on a PK within 6 minutes, all after the 80th minute mark, and I'm with you. I thought the Galaxy were going to come back and actually win that one, scoring 3 times in the final 14 minutes.
Would have been a great opening weekend for Los Angeles if they did it, but still, nonetheless, even though they did get a point, I think that DC felt more like a loss, and
Absolutely.
LA probably felt more like a win.
And Bruce Arena made that comment in the post-game presser afterwards. He said that too. He said we both get a point, but I think I feel a little bit better than my counterpart. And a little bit of pressure on Bruce Arena this year. You know, this is his team now. He took over midway through last year for Ruud Gullit. These are his guys. He stacked this deck. Probably not exactly what he wants, but more or less, it's his team. His signature is on it. And the Galaxy did actually add another player earlier this week. If you didn't see it, actually just a couple of days ago, the veteran Greg Berhalter. Has 44 caps with the U.S. national team, and another guy they're putting on that back line to try to balance out some of that inexperience.
And it'll be interesting to see where exactly Bruce has him to slide in terms of the back 4. You want to keep Eddie Lewis with his good left foot out there wide. Sean Franklin, second year in the league, but he had a great Rookie of the Year campaign. So the question is does Berhalter come in and replace Tony Sané, or is he relief for Omar Gonzalez if he runs into a little bit of a rookie wall?
Berhalter has a lot of international experience, not just with the U.S. national team, but of course he played in Holland, England, Germany, 35 years of age. So we'll let you know when and if he gets into the game tonight.
There's a shot of Gary Smith down on the bench.
Gary Smith, technically in his first season as the head coach, he took over midway through last season, final 11 games, and they were actually much improved after he slid to the end of the bench. Led them to 17 points, which was the 4th most in MLS. They went 5-4-2. But this team has continued to morph Colorado since last year.
Well, just as you mentioned how Bruce now has his guys put into the system here for Los Angeles, the same is true for Gary Smith. He had the opportunity to prove himself in those last 11 games of 2008, did a great job. In fact, they only had 1 win on the road up to that point. Then he was appointed interim coach, and they go on to win 3 games on the road in those final 11. Just missing out on a playoff spot on the last day of the season against Real Salt Lake.
Donovan at midfield, got tangled up and kept possession. Through the center circle, Kyle Patterson on an overlapping run, moving forward. Taking on 2 defenders, tried to chip between them. It was knocked away. They throw in for the Galaxy. And now the Galaxy are playing almost like it's the last 20 minutes of the match. Everybody running to the ball, and you see much more activity.
Which is good. I think fans want to see a sense of urgency, especially after you drop that first goal in the opening minute.
Going to switch this one to the opposite side. Sean Franklin trying to chase it down. He earns the throw, and good effort. Went a long way to get that, keep the possession.
It's going to be a great battle to keep an eye on the speedy Colin Clark on the outside of the midfield for Colorado. And Sean Franklin has some pretty good jets himself, but you'll see Clark, he loves to face up against players and take people on one-on-one, and he's one of those players that can beat 1, 2, sometimes 3 players, and then he fails to release the ball. Probably gets a little bit of frustration from some of his teammates, but he is great one-on-one.
That's Omar Gonzalez right there, big number 4, and he was really a presence last week. He goes 6'5", 210. The ball's going to roll over the touch, and a throw in for Los Angeles. So LA, just like they did last, 2 weeks ago now against DC United, when they dominated the first 35 minutes, now they seem to be keeping the possession and controlling the midfield right now, but nothing to show for it. Remember last week, 2 weeks ago, against DC, they gave up that penalty in the area and a PK in the final seconds of the first half. And you said it in your column, your online column, A View from the Booth, Mark, that the Galaxy dominated 35 minutes of that and went into the locker room down 1-0.
And that had to be demoralizing a little bit. They had to think about, hey, we had this, especially a couple of chances in the early 15, 20 minutes. Donovan had that one chance, tried to flip it over the head of the goalkeeper, Josh Wicks. But that's how small just minor plays can be in this game. The chance between finishing one off and not finishing one, and then at the other end, just 2 minutes before the halftime break, they get the penalty and the chance to take the lead into halftime.
Burpo punts this one to midfield, and Connor Casey, one of the bigger players on the pitch, first one to get there, and now they'll play it out wide. Here comes Colorado again. The left-footed shot is deflected. Sean Franklin, another good defensive play. Now chasing Mehdi Bellucci. Mastroeni. Some good names here for Colorado. A lot of good young talent. You talked about it. Very good, very quick in the midfield. Kosuke Kimura plays it forward. Connor Casey at bump from behind. Colorado throw in. Just into the 11th minute.
Jim, it looks like Omar Gonzalez is really trying to stay tight on Connor Casey now. And so what Colorado's trying to do is they're trying to draw Omar Gonzalez out of the middle with Connor Casey making lateral runs, and that opens up some space for other players to tuck in behind.
Hugo Hemelo played that ball across, and he is playing his 100th Major League Soccer game tonight. Remember, the first 54 of those with the Galaxy. Aaron Charlton, our statistician, handed me that note just before kickoff. So congratulations to Hemelo, 100. Look across at a guy like Chris Klein, who is playing his 295th tonight and his 117th straight start. And you know, that's one of those streaks for me that just you always talk about this guy as workmanlike and the lunch pail and all that, blue collar. You know, nobody works harder on the pitch than Chris Klein.
And it's good to see Kleiner up in that right midfield spot. I think, as I also wrote about this week, some of his service was very good a couple of weeks ago in that game against DC United. The interchange between he and Franklin is a good luxury for LA.
First corner kick of the match. LA did a good job to repel that one. Colorado keeps the possession, at least for the moment. And it would have been an offside, so Colorado connected on that pass. Jordan Harvey now getting involved in the attack, and they'll play it up the wing again. Mehdi Bellucci with some nice footwork there, stepping across that ball. He tried to play it to the middle of the pitch. And right now, LA just playing this ball out to midfield and giving up possessions each time.
Well, they're trying to get it up top to Gordon, who's 1 against 3, 1 against 4. Certainly, Allen can hold the ball with a defender on his back, but they need to have the central midfielders in Tadella and Kovalenko receive service at their feet.
A little shove right there. Dima Kovalenko. Kovalenko just gave a little shove and took possession. Patterson. Connor Casey just ran up on him. Chased him down from behind. Tudela now reverses. Galaxy trying to connect now and hold a longer possession. They've been turning it over the last couple of times. Some whistles now. Crowd not really enjoying the offensive attack for the Galaxy at this point. Connor Casey scored in the 17th second.
There you see second fastest goal ever in Major League Soccer. Di Rosario holds the accolade as the fastest for San Jose back on September the 27th, 2003 against Dallas.
11 seconds. Can you run from the midfield stripe to the goal in 11 seconds?
I can't. I can't. Colorado's in a half-court set right now, just pressing against LA.
Nice job by Patterson to take away on Kimura. But Colorado is back. Actually, the numbers are 3-on-4. Patterson slips one through and tried to hit the cross. Donovan had to go well behind it. Connor Casey, he is so tough to get around. We saw Sane just riding him from behind, but almost like a basketball box out on a rebound. Connor Casey just such a big dude, and he's solid. When he stands on both his pins, he's pretty hard to take off the ball.
Well, Sane probably has a little bit of experience from working against Connor Casey from time to time in practice. Remember, Tony Sane played for Colorado in 2007 before taking 08 off.
He's played with 4 clubs now: Columbus, Chicago, Colorado, and now Los Angeles. Of course, he made his debut with Bruce Arena in DC way back in '96. Sane call him the Big Cat. Play it into the area. Gonna roll all the way through. Saunders will tee it up now. 1-0 Colorado. Connor Casey in the first minute, in the first few seconds, just 17 seconds into the match. And really, I guess if you had to characterize what happened, the Galaxy were just late to recover. Made a mention about Colorado's defense and how good they were last year. Third in MLS this year, limiting opponents to just 13 shots through 2 matches. They were first in that category last year. What is it that makes these guys so good?
Well, I think Corey Gibbs coming over at the latter stage of last year is a huge boost for them defensively. And then when you talk about a player like Lugo Iamaleau, you know, you mentioned getting his 100th game in Major League Soccer here tonight. This is a guy who started out, he was similar to Ty Harden, who's actually now on Colorado too, in the fact that his rookie year made a couple of mistakes, gave up some penalty kicks from time to time, but players learn from those mistakes, and that's exactly what Iamaleau has done. You put him and Gibbs together, it's a great tandem centrally for the Rapids.
Eddie Bellucci was offsides for Colorado. You know, there's a legacy building now with rookie defenders for the Galaxy. We saw Ty Harden a couple of years ago. Sean Franklin was the rookie of the year in MLS. And now you have guys like AJ De La Garza and Omar Gonzalez who looked really good. And I get it. It was one match. But goodness, I walked out of here. I knew both of those names as I was walking to the car.
And as we hit on the pregame show, I think Gonzalez is going to be a player to really keep an eye on. De La Garza brings a different set of skills in terms of he can get forward and get into the attack. He's similar to Eddie Lewis, that he can get out wide, do some overlapping runs, provide service into the area. Where Gonzalez is a player, I don't know that we have really seen any flashes of him with the ball at his feet yet. Maybe that is still to come, but a couple of times, and even tonight early in the opening couple of minutes, he had the ball with open space, looked a little bit unsure of exactly what he wanted to do with it.
Any Colorado fans in the house probably not too surprised to see the Rapids score first. They have scored first in each of their 3 matches this year. And in fact, they lost on opening night to Chivas. And they had won 19 straight matches when scoring first. So they're 19-1. And then you'll add on tonight when scoring first. And the loss was to Chivas USA on opening night just a couple weeks ago.
And they were fortunate to be in front in that match as Zach Thornton, who was in goal that night for Chivas USA, spilled an easy one right on the doorstep to allow Cummings to poke it home. And that was one of the things I was interested to see tonight. Which Colorado team would come out? The team that has put together 3 out of 4 good halves, the first half against Chivas USA and then the 90 minutes against KC, or the team that came out in the second half against Chivas USA and really just gave it up to the other team that is here at the Home Depot Center.
Here's Eddie Lewis standing over the ball. He just took that set piece, chips it into the box just over the head of Alan Gordon, and then Chris Klein couldn't track it down on the backside. But we're going to keep an eye on Eddie Lewis getting his first action of the year. He's been nursing a hamstring. I think it's on his left side. Galaxy have reverse pricing to select games in April, May, and June. Sideline seats are on sale for only $14. That's a savings of $61 per ticket. I'm going to say it again, Mark, because that's a great savings. Sideline seats, only $14, a savings of $61 per ticket. Make sure to take advantage of this offer. Right now, it'll expire on April 11th. Call 1-877-3-GALAXY. Visit LAGalaxy.com.
And it's those seats right over there, Waddy.
Those are the ones?
Right along.
Those are $14.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get those for $14 to come watch a match. I think there's 2 rows right there on the field. Maybe 1 row right there on the field.
So if my math is correct, and I took a lot of math in college, some of it
and with
times. Well, you got to do that. $75 those seats normally are, and you get them for $14.
Including, I think there's still some available for the first installment of the Super Classico against Chivas USA.
Wow. Which is the next Saturday night?
Correct.
All right, so Tuesday, U.S. Open Cup qualifying right here against the same side, Colorado. It's Tuesday night here at the Home Depot, and then Saturday, it's the City Championship against Chivas.
Those always produce great, energetic games between those 2 teams.
Yeah, the fans get into it. You have to keep one eye on the field and one eye on the stands.
Hard tackle on Chris Klein over there. Not sure if Michael Kennedy came in with a whistle, but it looked like a late arriving challenge there. Let's see if we can pick it out on the replay. And Klein's probably saying that has to be a foul. Reaches out. Oof, the left ankle takes quite a blow right there from Corey Gibbs.
Yeah, Gibbs just slid right across. And it looked like Klein had a bit of a protest, and then Michael Kennedy, the referee, said, I saw it and I've heard it. That's enough. Klein just tucked his tail and ran back to his position. Mark, it's still early. We're only in the 21st minute, but I would say that the Galaxy don't look nearly as sharp as they did against DC 2 weeks ago.
Not at least to this point. You know, we're 20 minutes in, as you said, and they have had very little possession. I don't think they've linked up maybe 4 or 5 passes at the most so far.
Connor Casey taking on 2 of the Galaxy players. He just pushed Eddie Lewis out of the way, and then Omar Gonzalez, who's the bigger of the 3 players back there, he came over and was able to knock that ball over the touchline so the Galaxy have a chance to reshape the defense.
Midfield really needs to step up here. When the Galaxy gets the ball at the back, they need to be able to play through the midfield.
Not a good throw in at all by Colorado. They just gave it away. I think it bounced up maybe just a little bit on Omar and danced around right next to his hand. Could have been ugly. He was right on the edge of the area too. Mehdi Bellucci now finds himself alone along the touch. Oh, goes between the wickets of Donovan.
That's what Bellucci brings to the table. That's why they were allowed to let Christian Gomez go back to DC. Maybe a hint of a handball right there.
Oh. I'm trying to see his feet. Was he in the area there? Yeah.
He was inside the area, but you know the intent there was to head it down to his own feet. Mehdi Bellucci, a player in the central midfield, born in Morocco, and great talent. A lot of expectations for him coming into this league. Player that played at Santa Clara. We'll see if tonight how often he gets on the ball. In fact, we're keeping track of his touches tonight. 5 touches so far.
You know, Mark, one guy that I haven't called his name yet in this match is Omar Cummings. So the Galaxy have done a good job taking him out of the equation for Colorado. Omar Cummings has scored in each of the first 2 matches for Colorado.
Well, how could we call his name? We were setting the table still, and all of a sudden he puts the ball across for Connor Casey to roll it into the back of the net. There's
Omar. Leads the team with the 2 goals on 7 shots, and he had the game-winning goal against Kansas City last week. 2008 was just a breakout year for the kid. Career high in every category. 26 games, 17 starts, 6 goals, 4 assists. And of course, he's one of the reggae boys.
Yeah, and
5 caps.
And he's got that typical blazing speed up top that you see from, and a lot of athleticism. You see that from a lot of Jamaican players.
And the unofficial moniker of the Jamaican national team, the Reggae Boys, they can get away with that. You see those t-shirts around town, you just give those guys a nod. Headed into the area and then headed out just as quickly. We got a whistle right on the edge of the area. Kyle Patterson did a scissor kick and immediately came up and appealed to Michael Kennedy.
Donovan was asking for the handball, but I think it's the right call right on the edge of the area. It's Mastroeni sliding in to try and distract the effort there from Patterson.
Patterson had his hand in the air before he even hit the ground, so it's going to be a set piece just about a yard outside of the 18.
And now we'll have Donovan set up over it. So you got, because it's so close in, Burpo's going to bring an extra player back there to help out, because if they're looking for this bending ball right in the corner right there, you have the goalkeeper protecting the entire far side. LA is probably going to throw a couple of numbers around the ball just to keep the Colorado defense honest.
Donovan's just got to be salivating at this opportunity just outside the area and almost dead on. Connor Casey right in the middle of the wall for Colorado.
And you can see wisely the Galaxy, anytime they put up, now they've taken Mastroeni off the post, because you see Alan Gordon can drift in level with that last defender. Gordon's got to be careful in the position he's in right here, because if the ball comes anywhere near him, it could be that passive offside call. You can see he's the last man in between the goalkeeper, Preston Burpo, and the wall. So
Malenko sets it up for Donovan and goes right into the wall. Here's Gordon now, and Gordon tools the defender, and so he's going to get a corner kick for LA. It's technically the Galaxy's first shot of the match.
Really the first time they've even been in that area, isn't it?
Yeah. Eddie Lewis now going to take this one with the left.
Big targets inside the area.
That ball coming right towards the near post, but about 8 yards off. It skips all the way through, and it stayed in. It hit the flag stick and stayed in, and a heads-up play by Colorado to run over and play this ball downfield. Josh Tudela volleys it back. Here's Chris Klein now. Connor Casey runs up on him again. Galaxy now, at least when they're in the offensive attacking end, seem to be trying to connect too long on their passes right now, and maybe that's just my opinion, Mark.
Well, I think when you see some of the passes, they're a step behind.
Cummings with a lofter into the box, and Saunders came up empty, and had to rally to get back on that ball. And that could have been ugly.
He hesitated for a moment, and he did, and he continued to come. You either have to come and get a touch on the ball.
This is Mehdi Bellucci right here in the middle of this, and you can see it bounces over him.
He gets there before Kovalenko has to have another touch, but you could see he came out and probably said he was coming after the ball, but really was a couple of yards away from it.
Mark, it's just too much drama. Those kind of plays should be handled easier.
Yes, exactly. Going back to your comment about the passing, though, I think when they get forward into this area, you'll see some of the passes a little behind players, just not in sync yet, not in the flow of the game as a unit right now.
And I'm trying to remember again another comment you made in your online column review from the booth, which is it's on the Galaxy website.
I'm gonna have to start paying.
Yeah, you were telling it was great stuff, and you were talking about because Colorado has a tendency to group defensively in the middle of the field, that's going to open up things on the outside.
You would think that LA would be able to use the channels, especially with players like Patterson and Klein that have the ability to get down in the flanks and serve the ball in.
Cummings just ran back and dumped Eddie Lewis, and then they got up and grabbed each other's jersey. To midfield, Donovan, the one touch to Gordon, and back to Donovan, who has space. Landon Donovan scored twice on opening night, gets tripped up, knocked down, and no whistle. And it was Gibbs took him off his feet. Corey Gibbs. He's the Rapids Defender of the Year. It's Connor Casey on a run, and he gets tripped up, and a well-played tackle.
Perfectly timed tackle from Gonzalez.
Omar Gonzalez. Boy, that is a rookie making that play. He's had one game of MLS experience, and Connor Casey's on a dead run. He's the last guy back, and he's got to make this tackle count.
Well, and watch it come from the left side of your screen. Arrives just as Casey's trying to get that first touch on the ball. It's exactly what you want to do. He's done that probably for years now. First at Maryland, and now here with Los Angeles in Major League Soccer. That's going to be another good matchup. You got Franklin and Colin Clark out on the far side of the field, and then you have these two big bodies battling centrally.
Yeah, Gonzalez is actually a bit bigger than Connor Casey, but Casey's such a big presence up there. Your eye goes to him so much, you just think he's bigger than he really is. They list him just over 6'1", about 175 pounds, but Gonzalez right there is 6'5", 210.
And it's almost like a wide receiver and a DB matching up, because Connor Casey has the ability to back into the defender.
Gordon to Donovan, and now Donovan to Klein. Klein works around Harvey, but Mastroeni is right there to take it off his sternum and play it down to his feet. You know, Colorado hasn't had a lot of miscues. You know, they've advanced the ball on each possession. There have been few unforced errors by the Rapids so far.
But when they come forward as well, Jim, they also get a chance for second chance opportunities where the Galaxy has not.
Sane now as the Galaxy built from the back and will play it on this side to Eddie Lewis, near touchline. Gordon back to Lewis. He just ran that same play, but with Donovan.
Keep the ball moving. 2-3 touches.
Switch this one out wide. This is what you were just talking about. These are the channels. Franklin likes to join the attack. Kovalenko, and it's deflected by Mastroeni. Franklin with the left, and Harvey heads it out of the area. Again, the Galaxy want to chip into the box. Gordon pushed once and then knocked down by a Himmler who says, I didn't touch him, but it sure looked like it, didn't it?
And sometimes you have to do this at this stage of the match. You're going to create a free kick opportunity. There is contact, and the hands up on the hips. Gordon says, I'm probably not going to be able to do much with this ball at this point in the field. My back to the goal. Why not take the contact and get the free kick?
Yeah, and once again, the set piece comes in an advantageous position, not as good as the last time, but this is where Pontius scored for DC a couple of weeks ago. Almost the same spot on the field. He buried it in that right panel.
Right here is where you're looking for the ball right there. Just past the penalty spot in between the six.
And they go with Eddie Lewis instead of Donovan with the left, and he went to Gordon. And Gordon turned around, looked over his shoulder at Klein. Maybe they got confused. They come together right at the point of contact here.
I think for my money, you want a driven ball in that area. I mean, you got some big targets, players that can clear space inside the area. Drive the ball in there and look for that bang, bang, glancing header.
You saw Gordon and Klein, they both came together right as the at the point of contact, and right away, Gordon turned around and looked at Klein as if to say, one of us shouldn't have been there. The ball hung in the air quite a bit. 31st minute, 1-0 Colorado. Connor Casey in the first minute, 17 seconds in. Here comes Colorado again. Tried to slide that ball to Mehdi Bellucci. Koske now looks up the right sideline. Roca, called Nick's name yet tonight. Roca was the most improved player for the Rapids last season. Here's Cummings. You can see all the attention he gets from the Galaxy defense. Chipped in by Kimura. And two completely different targets in the box with Mehdi Bellucci and Connor Casey. Well, if you want more incredible MLS action this season, the MLS Direct Kick package available through your service provider. To sign up, call one of the phone numbers listed below or log on to MLSnet.com to find out how to order today.
I haven't renewed my subscription, but that first weekend was free. I was all over it.
Yeah. Sitting
at home, watching all the games.
Yeah, I thought I was getting away with something until you guys told me when I came to work. No, they were giving it away to everybody that first weekend. Game is really flattened out now. Either team unable to build. A lot of change of possession here in the midfield. Good play by Eddie Lewis. It'd be interesting to see how long Eddie Lewis goes tonight. Because he had that hamstring, you have to question his fitness. Bellucci tried to go to Casey. Another good play by Omar Gonzalez. He's just shadowing Casey. Again, a short-lived possession for the Galaxy. Mastroeni now plays it out wide. Across the midfield line, and the cutter up the middle. That was Colin Clark, and the ball just kind of came in a little lazy behind him. Deep now into the first half. And same kind of frustration the Galaxy experienced against DC. And then the service just a bit too long, past the far post, kept alive, and here's Lewis. Tees it up, goes with the left, dangerous ball, and coming out to punch it away was Burpa. And there was no hesitation by Burpa that time. He just came right out with a fist.
Galaxy have the height advantage when they get players like Alan Gordon and Chris Klein forward in the box, but I just don't know that they need to continually keep serving it every time. Why not keep it? Possess the ball.
Let's go down to Jackie Pickering one more time. I guess you had a chance to talk with Eddie Lewis?
I did. Thanks, Jim. I talked to him earlier this week in practice about how he was feeling as far as being match fit for a game. He told me he wasn't quite 100%, but he's been working with the trainer extra to help get his cardio up. I talked to Bruce Arena about Eddie's return, and he said that it's unlikely that Eddie will play the full 90 minutes. So keep an eye out for maybe AJ De La Garza coming in the second half and replacing him to give Eddie a little bit of rest.
Good stuff, Jackie. And AJ De La Garza played pretty well opening night against DC, so I think that serves two purposes for Bruce Arena. You get Eddie Lewis off the pitch when he starts to get a little bit tired, and you get AJ some more experience, and he earned it.
Absolutely.
Connor Casey beat two guys to that ball, and as he was being pulled down, he shot, and he turns around, and he's griping, and Michael Kennedy, the referee.
But you know, Kennedy hasn't whistled it the other way for Alan Gordon, with the exception of that one foul against the Embolo. So all you can ask for is consistency from the referee.
See how long this possession is for the Galaxy. Franklin to Gordon, and they turn it over. Colin Clark with a good read and react right there.
But Gordon had 3 yards of space around him. He doesn't need to force the ball back out wide. Hold on to it. Take a second touch.
Kovalenko looked over his shoulder. One of the Rapids, Colin Clark, running right in his shadow, so he plays it back to Saunders. Mark Colorado just looks like the better side so far.
So far here in the first half, I don't think there's any doubt. With about 10 minutes left, they've had probably 70-30 in terms of possession here in the first half. And it began right from the get-go. LA just a little bit flat.
Beautiful by Gordon, but it is going to be an offside by Donovan. I was buying it, but the flag went up immediately on the far side. It's Frank Anderson, our opposite referee's assistant. Paul Scott working the bench side.
I think it was the right call. Can't really tell too much from this angle, but look right there where Donovan already is. It would have been this far player that would have kept him on side, but
Good call by both the opposite referee and yourself.
I'll keep my day job.
Do you have a day job? This is it, isn't it, for you?
Yes, sir.
Manny Bellucci beats Tudela to that one in the air. Cummings. Look at Cummings dancing with it. A little flare from the Jamaican. Now he gives it up. Kovalenko trying to slip one to Patterson. Played out by Kimura, and it's going to be a corner for the Galaxy. Kovalenko slow to get up.
Good work there from Dima in the middle of the park. Able to elude a couple of challenges, and then he gets off, tries to spring the attack with Patterson coming down that left side. Good footwork there with Kimura, but LA will have their second corner.
11 years in MLS for Kovalenko. Donovan and Lewis now in the corner. Two Rapids defenders just in front of Donovan. Soft ball and a goal! And it's Omar Gonzalez, the rookie, with his first MLS goal. Where did he come from? We've been talking about his size. You've been talking about the great targets on the corner. How about 6'5", 210 for the rookie from Dallas, Texas?
Well, you know that Landon Donovan is going to give you good service, but there comes Gonzalez. You called it perfectly, Jim. Knifing in. You want to see aggressive nature inside the area. And look, he's a good head above everyone else that is even in that area. 37th minute of play. Donovan adds an assist to his career category. And an even bigger tally for that man there, Omar Gonzalez, his first MLS goal, 37 minutes in, and LA are level.
How about that? His first MLS goal, and he gets it from Landon Donovan on Donovan's 70th career assist. And it was a beautiful service by Donovan, and then Gonzalez just to that glancing header. Well, what do you say about Omar Gonzalez? He looked great defensively week one against DC United. He made that great sliding tackle on Connor Casey earlier in this match, and now he scores.
And remember, he had a chance similar to that against DC United at the other post with the near post off service from the far side that he headed just wide. And that's how his goals are going to come, is on set pieces, him being one of those big targets at the back where you almost need to put two defenders on him. I wouldn't be surprised if for a lot of the set pieces the rest of this game, if Connor Casey is the player that comes back and has to run with Omar Gonzalez stride for stride.
You know, take a memo, will you, Mark? Let's get something sent downstairs to Casey Lebanon, the marketing guy, and the PR guys, Patrick Donnelly and Justin Pearson, and get these guys, get some pamphlets made up. Rookie of the Year here for Omar Gonzalez.
Well, oddly enough, Sean Franklin and Omar Gonzalez have the same agent, and I've seen him a couple of times here after some of the Galaxy games, and I always kid him about how I was pushing for Sean Franklin as Rookie of the Year last year, and he said, I expect the same for Omar Gonzalez.
A little glossy brochure, perhaps? Let's get the name out. You know, a month ago, I didn't know who Omar Gonzalez was, and I read all about what he did at the University of Maryland, winning that College Cup. Saw him in training a couple of days, just loved his size right away. I think he's active, but he's not one of those rookies that just runs around to look busy. He seems to be in the right position. The tackle he made on Connor Casey was, I can see it in my head again. He just played it perfectly, and here he comes out of nowhere, knifing into that defense, huge target at 6'5", and deflects that ball into the back of the cage.
And if you go back to the draft, MLS draft, just I'll get to it in a minute.
Chance there for the Galaxy. Kyle Patterson, who also had an assist in his debut with the Galaxy against DC.
Back in the draft a couple of months ago, Jim, in St. Louis, there was a lot of talk. If you were looking defensively, Gonzalez was one of the names that really was popping out a lot. But if you were looking offensively, there was a lot of talk about Steve Zakuani, who, of course, eventually became the #1 pick. And, by the way, tallied his first goal as a rookie today in the 2-0 win for Seattle over TFC. And actually, I thought that Seattle was going to go with Gonzalez as the first pick, and I was quite surprised to see him slip to, I believe, 4th for LA.
And that played into the plans for Bruce Arena, who said, look, my #1 job was to improve the defense. Gonzalez just played that ball back to Saunders. So we've seen him at opposite ends of the pitch already. His fresh young legs, 40th minute. Tudela now, just pulling on the back of Omar Cummings. Cummings with 3 guys. Tudela flops. Goes over the touch, and it'll be a throw-in for Colorado. Boy, Cummings is so quick with the ball. And how do you defend a guy like that?
Well, it depends where you are on the field, because sometimes you want to be tied up on him and make it difficult for him to get the ball. But and if you get too tight on him, though, because of his quickness, he's going to push it by you. So I think in the defensive third, you have to really respect the speed.
Hemalu's going to throw it in. Mentioned before, playing his 100th Major League Soccer game tonight.
Like a corner, he's got the long throw here.
He asked for a little help from Kennedy to have Patterson back up, thrown right into the middle of the area, headed out easily by Alan Gordon. In just a moment, they're all 20 position players who are within about 25 yards of one another. Looked like a kids' ASO game. Everybody chasing the ball.
Well, after the early strike and a lot of momentum for Colorado, I think Gonzalez's goal gives LA a chance to breathe for a moment. Even better, I think setting up for a great second half here at the HTC.
Connor Casey just launches that one up into the crowd. Be a goal kick for Josh Saunders as we near the 42nd minute of the first half. Help the Galaxy win the Nothing But Nets Challenge to fight malaria and be entered to win into a drawing for a chance to win a trip 4-2 to the 2009 All-Star Game in July. Visit LAGalaxy.com to make a donation. You know, Rogo, I'm personally familiar with Nothing But Nets. It's an unbelievable story. Rick Riley wrote something about it in Sports Illustrated and brought my attention to it. For 20 bucks, you can have a net delivered to a family in Africa, put it over the kids when they sleep, and it cut down malaria as a #1 killer of kids. You know, it was amazing, and I immediately got involved with it. Rick Riley wrote me a thank you note. Now I see it everywhere, and because it's about nets, it obviously plays right into sports. I've seen it everywhere. It's a really worthy cause. I can't underscore that enough for people. For 20 bucks, and you can help a family.
I think it's even 10 now.
Is it less than that? It was 20 when I got.
I think it might even be 10 now. But either way, I mean,
less of an excuse.
Yeah, one of you know, several good campaigns that Major League Soccer has going. But you hear about that one a lot.
Great stuff.
And I believe Ethan Zahn, the former survivor and a guy who had some experience in the USL First Division, I think is also one of the leaders in terms of making that happen.
'43rd minute. Connor Casey scored 17 seconds in for Colorado, his first of the year. Omar Gonzalez scored in the 37th minute, the first of his career. The assist came from Donovan on a corner. I think we have to give Patterson a lot of credit for earning that corner kick for the Galaxy as well with his hustle downfield.
And it started with Kovalenko as well in the middle.
Good point, absolutely. You know, those are the things that you forget about quickly. I'm playing it back in my head now and remembering backing up the tape. And all those guys connected, earned that corner kick. That's why those are so important.
It's funny, I've only got like a 5-second playback. Tough to remember what I had for dinner.
You get a chance to eat tonight? You were pretty busy when you got here.
Game mode.
44th minute. Galaxy tied DC on opening night. Colorado split their first 2 matches, losing here to Chivas and beating Kansas City at home. In fact, Colorado will play here again against the Galaxy Tuesday night in the US Open Cup. So that means they will play 3 of their first 4 matches at the Home Depot Center. They'll play an equal number of matches to the Galaxy on their field. Over the top, Donovan has the better speed and his run off of that one. Hemalu had his forearm up on Donovan and just rode him off the ball, and Donovan looking but getting no love from the official.
I don't think you're going to probably get that call either way, because Donovan was really not in the spot to get that ball. And it's a wise move by the defender, just bodying him off.
Hemalu did exactly what he's supposed to do, stay between his man and the ball. Well played. Bellucci, the one touch to Colin Clark. Again, it seems like every time Colorado comes forward, they're trying to pinpoint Connor Casey. Final 30 seconds at least of the game clock, and we think that they're going to add on 1 minute of stoppage, so about a minute 30 now left in the first half. Tudela. Sane, the big cat, and he's got another one right behind him in Connor Casey. Galaxy attack being serenaded in the background. The Angel City Brigade with the drums. They're right behind the net with the Galaxy attacking now. They're the loudest of the cheering sections here tonight. Knocked off the ball. It'll be a free kick. Donovan does get that one. Now he's waiting for the referee's instructions just to make sure he got what he wanted.
I think this is one of the areas of the game where Landon has just shot up, is his ability to receive the ball with a defender on his back. We know about the pace, we know about his ability to finish the free kicks, but his ability when he's got a bigger defender on his back to still control the ball, he's done very, very well in that category, and it really raised the level of that game in the last year or two.
And Gibbs is going to get a yellow card for that one. And that's what Donovan was looking for. And you're right, Donovan is an exceptional athlete, but he's only 5'8", 158. So he's really got to buck up when a guy's on his back.
Big targets again, right on the edge of the area.
Eddie Lewis got that great left foot.
Looking for this ball right here.
Lots of big targets in there, as you mentioned. There's the line drive. That was the ball with pace that you were asking for before. It comes all the way out. Kovalenko just over the crossbar and a bit wide. And that will end the first half. And, you know, I have the same feeling right now that I did at the end of the DC game. I think they're fortunate to be 1-1 right now.
Well, yeah, remember, against DC, they were down 1-0, so they were unfortunate.
I mean, at the end of the DC game.
Okay, at the end of the DC game, too. No, I agree with you, and I'm sure that Bruce Arena is going to be harping on how could we not be ready from the get-go, and we'll take a look at it right here. I mean, it started less than a minute into this game. Right off the opening kick, Colorado ball over the top. Cummings slips in behind, and watch this easy finish at the back post for Connor Casey.
Ball should never get through.
Never, ever should get through. So Casey finishes it off a minute into the game. But 36 minutes later, in the 37th minute, Gonzalez, great glancing header. That's the one they work on in training over and over, the glancing header to bury it home to make it 1-1.
Great moment. You can see it reflected on the face of Omar Gonzalez. I mean, what's his life been like the last month? He comes here in January in the Super Draft. He gets his first start. MLS plays very well against DC. And then tonight, plays some great defense and then gets a goal. Unbelievable. Let's go down to Jackie Pickering, who's with Omar Gonzalez.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, first off, congratulations on that goal. But first, I want to talk to you about that goal that Connor Casey scored. You're right there next to Josh Saunders. What exactly happened?
Well, first of all, we just started off with, you know, a bad pass, and it went out of bounds, and then the ball went forward, and we just caught on our heels, and we were just chasing, and me and Josh just went for the same ball, and it just happened to roll right past us. So I don't really know what happened.
All right, now let's talk about the good in this game. Let's talk about your goal, the equalizing goal so far. Congratulations, first of all, but walk us through that.
Well, basically, you know, I just had to get away from Connor Casey because he's been on me, you know, the whole game, and just getting past him was basically the hardest part. And Landon put in a great ball, and I just got my head on it.
All right, well, congratulations. Before I send it back up to you guys, just want to let you know that in the last 3 games against Colorado, a rookie has scored in every single one. Guys.
Good stuff, Jackie. Thank you for that. And, you know, it's funny, as he was talking about losing Connor Casey, you can see Connor Casey in the background with that dejected look. It's the same one I have when you stiff me with the bill every time. It's 1-1. We're level at halftime. Colorado and your LA Galaxy. We are level at a goal apiece. Connor Casey scored 17 seconds in, the second fastest goal in MLS history. And then in the 37th minute, Omar Gonzalez, his first goal. The rookie scores on a header, and the assist goes to Landon Donovan. And by the way, that's the first goal that Colorado has given up in the first half this year. Colorado, one of the better defenses in MLS. What did you think of that first half? I mean, it was balanced at both ends. A breakdown at the beginning, and then they answer back at the end of the half.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was a little bit worried in the initial part of it because it seemed like LA was sleeping there the way that things started with Colorado
lethargic,
getting that quick goal. Some of the pacing was off for Los Angeles in the middle of the field. Let's take a look at things from the opening minute. Good ball over the top, but Omar Cummings, blazing speed to get in there. Great ball to get across to the back post, but as we said during the run of play, that ball should never get through Saunders and Omar Gonzalez. Of course, Gonzalez, we'll see more of him in the highlights here as he would redeem himself later. Easy tap-in finish. I don't think Connor Casey's going to have an easier one than that throughout the rest of the season. Then later, inside the area, Saunders hesitates to come out to field that cross, but fortunately for him, the rest of the defense is there to help him clean things up. and things would get a little bit physical. That's one way to keep Connor Casey off the ball, is a hard tackle like that from Omar Gonzalez, and then the glancing header by the rookie. 37th minute of play as he brings us level at 1-1. Good service from Donovan, and even better finish there from Gonzalez. That glancing header, almost impossible to defend that for a goalkeeper. And as he told Jackie Pickering, he was able to get away from Connor Casey to bury that one home. Here's a look at your first half stats, and well, really not much sticks out. Fouls 6-4 in favor of Colorado. You know, both teams with a couple of chances off the corners, and shots on goal fairly equal as well. So I think that's going to lead us to a really good second half.
You know, defensively, I thought the Galaxy did a good job against Casey, against Cummings, against Mastroianni. I mean, it could have been worse. Let's go down to Jackie Pickering.
Thanks, Jim. All right, Bruce. So they were able to equalize there late in the half. What did you tell your team in the locker room?
Well, certainly we want to start the second half a heck of a lot better than we started the first half. A terrible start to the game, but I give the guys a lot of credit for getting the goal back. And I think the last 20 minutes of the first half, we took control. Now we have to come out in the second half and play like we did the last 20 minutes of the first half, and we'll be in good shape.
Like you mentioned, Colorado did control most of the first half. What do you do to get that possession time back in your favor?
Well, I think as the game settles down a little bit now with fatigue, we'll be able to pass a little bit better. We didn't do well in the early minutes of the game, but I'm confident we'll be able to pass better the second half and create some chances.
All right, thanks so much for the time, Bruce. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
Well, Jackie, he sounds pretty optimistic. He just thinks the second half is going to be better. Mark, why does he think that? What did he see at the end? He said, I thought we took control in the last 20 minutes of the first half.
Well, it probably starts with what he said to the team there during the halftime break. I would imagine that Bruce, being the coach that he is, probably dug into his guys pretty good there at the halftime break, saying that we were not ready to go from the opening whistle, and that had to be a little bit of a cause for concern. So if we see a much more energetic LA Galaxy side coming out here in the second half, that'll be a good sign that his talk went a long way.
Well, you said it. They just looked a little lethargic, a little flat to start this game, and they got burned. You know, it was a confluence of negative factors for the Galaxy. They were a little flat. Colorado got a good break, a ball played over the top, and then a misplay between a rookie back, Omar Gonzalez, and Josh Saunders, and the ball just squirts between them, and Connor Casey gets the easiest goal he's going to have all year in MLS. But the Galaxy didn't panic. And the other thing that this team has that last year's team doesn't have is that they just have better legs. They seem to be in better shape, better fitness at the beginning of the season. There's the kid right there, Omar Gonzalez. He's gotten a lot of face time tonight. Some good defensive plays on Connor Casey. And then he said he had to lose Casey to get to that header.
And as I think I mentioned it there during the first half, I wouldn't be surprised if Casey has to stay right on the hip of Gonzalez anytime he comes forward to try and help out on those corners, free kick chances.
Yeah, those guys are never more than about 20 yards apart. In fact, Casey right now is shadowing Omar Gonzalez. Ball played forward to Gordon, and Himalu just plays it over the touch. So let's watch in the first 5 minutes of the second half if you see a markedly different approach from the Galaxy. Bruce Arena promised that. Little glancing header. Donovan tried to get it to the far side, decline. Here's Casey now for Colorado, and he got that elbow up. Faces Sean Franklin, plays the ball forward. On a run. Colin Clark, left foot service into the area. Played easily out by Eddie Lewis, no panic. Not with all that international experience.
I was going to say, that's what a veteran brings to the table for you right there, is the ability to be composed even in the middle of his own box.
Yeah, he looked like he was in midfield the way he played it, huh? Just trapped it, squirted it forward, and then played the ball. Well done. Good to have him back on the pitch. Been nursing a hamstring, so he missed opening night against DC. You know, I talked to him a couple days before that, and there was a temptation because of the 2-week layoff that if he didn't play against DC, he had 3 more weeks. Here's Sean Franklin trying to get it to his left foot. They took punch and a chance. Galaxy in front. The flag does not go up. Offside.
Great unselfish play from Los Angeles, and it all starts with the run by Sean Franklin.
Alan Gordon puts the Galaxy in front 2-1.
Look at this run from Franklin here. He starts all the way back near midfield, avoids the challenge, then right here, cutting inside because they knew that he was looking for that overlapping run, perfectly timed run by Donovan, and then the unselfish ball to earn his second assist of the night. Just as Connor Casey got that easy tap-in finish in the first half, Alan Gordon probably will not see an easier chance throughout the rest of this season. And he taps that one home with the left foot, his first goal of the campaign, and that puts Los Angeles in front for the first time all year.
Boy, it's all about helpers now with Landon Donovan. He had the 3 with Josie Altidore in the match against Trinidad and Tobago. And tonight he has both assists, one to Omar Gonzalez, and now he picks this one up to Alan Gordon, and Franklin also gets a helper on that one. And really, Franklin did all the heavy lifting.
Great job from Sean Franklin, the sophomore, in terms of his second year here in Major League Soccer, just taking on defenders. And you know, that was one of the things we talked about a little bit extensively in the DC United game, was Sean Franklin getting to move from that center back spot out to a wide defensive spot. That'll allow him to do exactly what he did right there, is getting forward to help out in the attack.
You know, Donovan drew the keeper and 3 defenders all to him, and then squirted that ball through to Gordon. And I didn't even think he saw Gordon coming in. And right back the other way is Connor Casey. How did that happen? Ball played over the top, he's all alone, and Casey, who came in without a goal this year, has 2.
We gave him the nickname, the Galaxy Killer, at the top of the broadcast, and that is exactly what he has done. Defending, defending, defending. Where is it? Almost a carbon copy of the one in the first half.
How is he that alone? Cummings saw him and couldn't wait to get that ball to him.
Yeah, I think LA was looking for maybe a hint of offside, but he delayed his run perfectly. And so what is it, less than a minute later, 2 minutes later, Connor Casey comes back to give us a 2-2 scoreline.
We're just talking at halftime about what a good job the Galaxy defense did with Casey, Mastroeni, with Cummings, and now Cummings hooks up quickly. Again, his second assist tonight to Connor Casey. Guess who's buying dinner when those guys get home?
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Just another breakdown defensively for the Galaxy. That just looked too easy. At first, I thought he was offside, the way everybody just kind of relaxed. Here's Casey again. He's out in front of everyone, and that should have probably been an offside.
Clearly, that looked like he was offside by a good 5-7 yards, but yet the far side AR kept the flag down.
It looked like Casey even kind of ran himself off the ball because he just assumed it was going to be an offside. And Sane ran back and played it back to his keeper. Casey now seems to be everywhere. Donovan now, by the way, with 71 career assists. 88 goals and 71 assists. We have 4 shots combined in this game and 4 goals. There's yet to be a save by a keeper.
They won't want to, they being Saunders and Preston Burpo, are probably not going to want to see that stat line at the end of the night. Jim, you made mention a couple of times in the first half talking about the online column that I do each week heading into the games. And boy, was I wrong. I thought that both these teams had improved defensively. I said you shouldn't come to the Home Depot Center expecting to see a 3-2 or you know, 4-0 match as they did last year. Twice 3-2, the Galaxy winning, and then the opener was a 4-0 win for Colorado.
Yeah, I believe that was your lead. I agreed with you when I read it. I nodded. That's okay. Your new column now is called A View from the Booth?
Yes.
What happened to Rolling with Rogo? Upgrade?
Trying to change up the mojo.
Yeah. It didn't work last year, did it? Galaxy have missed the playoffs the last 3 years, and no MLS team has missed the playoffs 4 years in a row. And it's something that they talk about. We were at training earlier this week, and it came up even then. You know, people talk about it, that this Galaxy team is under some extra pressure. And certainly there's some pressure in Commerce City, Colorado as well, with the Rapids, who also missed the second season last year.
Galaxy trying to avoid becoming the first team in MLS history to miss the playoff 4 straight seasons.
Yeah, that would be a good goal to avoid. Lewis inside, and Himelo got to it. Here's Franklin. Chips this ball just a bit too strong for Klein, and he could not get there.
Ronaldinho, Kaká, Pato, and international soccer powerhouse AC Milan coming to Los Angeles to take on your LA Galaxy June the 19th, 7 p.m. here at the Home Depot Center. 20,000 tickets have already been sold, so make sure you secure your seat by calling now 1-877-3-GALAXY. Of course, you can always go to the website lagalaxy.com.
So now you, the big soccer head, gonna miss the AC Milan appearance?
I got my my secondary job covering the women's professional soccer, and we'll be in New York, New Jersey that day for a game.
Yeah, by the way, I saw the opener here with the Soul, and terrific work, and that's great stuff. Couldn't be happier. They had a big crowd here, huh?
Yeah, I think, almost 15,000.
Yeah,
almost
that's
15,000.
fantastic. Marta was here.
She's electrifying, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, you guys played the soundbite from Kobe Bryant, who said that was one of the reasons when he was in Beijing, one of the 3 things he wanted to do while he was there was see her play in person.
He checked them all off.
Yes, he did. Preston Burpo got the call tonight. He played on this pitch for a brief time in 2007 with Chivas USA. And he has a great line in his biography. He said if he wasn't a pro soccer player, he'd be a Frisbee golfer.
I saw that.
Love that.
I saw that.
Played a little Frisbee golf back in my day. But I kept my amateur status. Never turned. A lot of lucrative endorsements.
Right now, this is where one of these teams is going to have an opportunity to grab hold of this game. Almost 10 minutes into the second half here, we've seen each team tally a strike here.
Yeah, we saw a plateau like this in the middle of the first half as well, and you can feel that the possessions just changed in the midfield. And again, neither keeper has made a save in this match. Klein, just a joust right there along the touchline. And Galaxy just picked it up. Franklin just threw it in, but it's going to be a Colorado possession here.
I thought it actually initially went out on the first challenge, but then Klein tried to get back up onto his feet. Tough to tell. Obviously, our referee trying to stay right on top of it, but the ball not completely out right there. Finally there, it rolls all the way out, and you can see clearly last touch by Klein.
By the way, we mentioned it a couple times tonight that this is the 400th game in franchise history for the LA Galaxy, and to take that a step further, the Galaxy have recorded 184 victories in those 400 matches, and that is the most in MLS history. 51st meeting between the Galaxy and Colorado, and the Galaxy have played no other team more than Colorado. And this has been a pretty spirited rivalry as well.
Well, neither team has really been able to have success on the road against each other. Galaxy, I don't think, have won since something like 2003 in Colorado. And it's been since
7 in a row.
Yeah, and something like 2006, the last time. Yeah, May 20th, 2006, the last time that Colorado came here to get a win.
And the Galaxy have dominated Colorado here in Southern California, both at the Rose Bowl and at the Home Depot Center. 19-4-2. Colorado won the opener of the 3 matches last year, 4-0 at Commerce. And the Galaxy said afterwards, a lot of the guys, Klein was talking about it, they'd never watched the film of that one. That was an abysmal performance. I think they all knew it. There were guys sick. I think the flu was running through the roster, and they were down and they were beat. And then altitude and got behind big. Connor Casey scored. That was a party for the Rapids.
Dick's Sporting Goods was rocking. That's where they opened the season there. And yeah, Colorado fans were happy with the way they disposed of LA on that day. Of course, was the day too that Carlos Ruiz was coming back to the Galaxy and looking to make a big stamp on the game. He got injured on a tackle from Kieran O'Brien in the second half.
So you remember stuff. That's good. Yeah, you thought you didn't? That's good. Good recall. And then the Galaxy, and you mentioned it before, came back and won the last 2 meetings between these two sides by identical 3-2 scores. Galaxy lead in the all-time series, if you care about such things, 26-19-5. Up over the top to Cummings, and he's got Casey in the middle of the pitch. He had to wait and settle that ball. And knocked away. Franklin, good job. You know, it's times like that you have to remind yourself that Sean Franklin is only in his 2nd season. You know, a dangerous player in the open field like Cummings. He knew Casey was behind him somewhere, stayed in position. Oh, well played by Gonzalez.
Yeah, under some pressure there, had to just give it a little extra power to get through it.
Kovalenko out wide now to Eddie Lewis. Again, as Jackie Pickering was working the sideline for us, she was talking about Eddie Lewis not expected to play all 90 minutes, and that hamstring did not play the opening week. did put in a full week of training, I believe, but it's going to take a little while to get the fitness back, and you don't want to get deep into those legs the first time. They have to play Tuesday night against Colorado here in U.S. Open Cup, and then Chivas on Saturday night. Galaxy the home team in that match? Saturday? Yes, they are. And a hard tackle on the far side. This may draw a card.
Did you just give him a red?
The crowd reacted, but we were being blocked, and now some water balloons or a cup of some liquid had just been thrown onto the field. Mehdi Bellucci continues to be down. One of the fans stood up and threw a soft drink or perhaps a beer onto the field. And we do think it was a red card on Kovalenko.
Yeah,
it is.
You can see by the way he's reacting right there that he can't believe it, and the Galaxy probably can't believe it. Especially when you consider that up to this point, Michael Kennedy has only handed out one card to Corey Gibbs up to this point. Let's take a look at it here and see just how bad the challenge is. He does lunge. He does lunge with both feet here on the tackle. No, just even 1 foot.
Just upends Bellucci, who immediately grabs the shin.
It's a yellow. That's a yellow right there.
And then as Bellucci's laying here, a fan throws something at him on the field, and you know, I would say that he threw it at him because he threw it 5 feet wide of the Galaxy player and the referee, and Kovalenko's being sent off and heads up the tunnel. So you think a bit harsh?
I think
should have been a yellow.
I think it should be a yellow, but you know, it's a long way from us to look all the way down there.
Well, and we also, you know, in defense of Michael Kennedy, our referee, you don't know what else has been going on and what he's been advising the players throughout the match. And maybe he had told people, look, I don't want any of this play. We've seen this enough, and the next one's getting a red, and that was the next one. Well, either way you look at it, the Galaxy now going to play a man down, as Kovalenko's going to have to watch this one on the monitor in the locker room.
And that will draw Landon Donovan back into the central midfield to play the offensive center midfield, if you will, in front of Tudela, who'll stay in that holding spot. And now Alan Gordon is your lone target up top. So defensively, not a whole lot changes in terms of the shape for LA. But certainly trying to go forward, you know, with a man down, they're going to have to pick and choose their moments. And you can see Mehdi Bellucci back out on the field. He's fine.
Yeah, he's right in the middle of the pitch, and he seems to be running without any despair.
Stefani Milaranzi down in between the benches. My guess is going to be that he'll probably come in for Alan Gordon. And Donovan can move back up top. It's going to be Kyle Patterson, actually. That's why mine was only a guess.
That's what you get paid to do up here, you know. So Patterson, the rookie, coming off.
What's going to happen here is now Landon will slide out to the left side of the midfield. That'll give him a little more room to roam on that left side, get the ball out wide, and take players on. Milaranzi, a member of Columbus in their MLS Cup winning side last year, now here with LA, he'll go into that center midfield role with Tudela.
And again, another player with loads of experience, not just here in MLS, but also over the pond, played in England from 02 to 06. Actually signed with the Galaxy back in 06, then went to Columbus, as you mentioned, 07, 08, and now returns to the left coast. There's Bellucci. Yeah, he looks fine, doesn't he? Donovan ahead to Gordon, and now to Klein. And Klein peeked to his left and finds Donovan. And here's Donovan pulled down.
Flag was up. It was late, but it was up.
Called offside before the foul. Koske just collapsed Donovan from behind.
But that is how LA is going to try and get their chances going forward, is get Landon out wide, get him running into the space when Colorado is pushed up.
At first look, he seemed to be onside, but you can see even there as the ball arrived, he already had a step and a half. So now the momentum has switched against the Galaxy, and they're certainly not getting any breaks. Kovalenko sent off in the 62nd minute with a red card on a hard tackle on Mehdi Bellucci. And for Kovalenko, his 7th career red card, and that does include one in the postseason. Once again, Aaron Charlton, our statistician, right on top of it. I don't know where he finds these things. Hold on.
Connor Casey picking up a yellow card right there
For the grab?
for the jersey tug there.
Gonzalez. You know, it's funny. Gonzalez was probably more worried about Connor Casey coming in, and now it seems to have switched. Connor Casey seems to be the guy who's a little bit fearful of what Omar Gonzalez can do.
Well, both those players, you're going to see them in tight space probably for the rest of the game. As I said, Connor Casey will have to try and come back and mark Omar Gonzalez, but he's still going to try and find offensively, see if he can find some freedom away from Gonzalez.
And Himmelou just volleys that one out and over the boards. Lewis will throw in. Miliranzi was over there. He's going to take it back to midfield.
You know, you asked me if I thought it was a red.
Offside again. The flag just went up, and Donovan throws his hands up. It's the official on the near sideline, and that is who he's staring at. A little stink eye from Landon Donovan saying, "You got to be kidding me. I had the whole play in front of me. How am I offside?"
I think that one looked pretty clear that he was on.
Bruce Arena looked down at the referee's assistant as well, just gave him a quick glance. Tackle in the open field. Gordon wanted it right back. Tudela with a little pirouette. Now Gordon controls in the center circle. Out wide, Lewis. Wanted Donovan, or Tudela. Went right between them, a little bit behind Tudela. We're tied at 2. Connor Casey has scored both goals for Colorado. One just 17 seconds in, the second in the 50th minute, and the Galaxy scored 2 goals between that. Omar Gonzalez in the 37th minute, his first career in MLS. And then Alan Gordon in the 48th minute from Donovan and Franklin. And Donovan being involved in a lot of plays right now. And is this going to draw any kind of a card?
Yep.
I don't want to guess anymore, and Michael Kennedy holds up the yellow.
So Mehdi Bellucci becomes the 3rd Rapids player to be booked here tonight.
Now, this is what I was talking about, Mark. When he sent Kovalenko off and we thought maybe it was a bit harsh, the penalty didn't fit the crime. Maybe because this kind of thing has been going on all night, and Michael Kennedy had given notice to everybody on the pitch. That's enough. I'm drawing the line here.
And I understand what you're saying, but if Kovalenko doesn't have a yellow card up to that point, how can you just pull out a straight red for a hard challenge?
I didn't say I agreed with it.
Right. No.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And so these are the chances here where LA has to look to strike.
Volleyed across, the goal mouth open and cleared. Alan Gordon again for LA, and it's going to be a throw-in for Klein. 67th minute. Galaxy tied DC United opening night 2 weeks ago, 2-2. And it's going to be Gonzalez now with the throw-in.
He must have the deep throw here. Otherwise, you'd want him inside the heart of the area.
And we're learning all about this guy, huh?
Looking for Alan Gordon. You can see in the center of the box there, Himmelou trying to just stay right on his hip.
Mastroeni was there. Flicked up. That's an offside. It's offside already on Donovan. Forget it. The crowd much too late to react to that one. The flag was up again.
Well, here in the 67th minute, as Colorado get ready to put this one back into play. I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we've been keeping track of some of the touches as we get a look at the replay here. Tudela just trying to send it back in. Good glancing header to try and send it through. You can see there, Donovan already a couple of steps in behind Colorado's defense. So Mehdi Bellucci to this point, 17 touches, but he's only completed 5 passes out of those contacts, where Donovan, 18 touches, and he's completed 12 out of those contacts. So Donovan having good success. And Pablo Mastroeni makes his way to the bench here as Terry Cook comes in. Thought maybe Terry Cook was going to be in the starting lineup after a great performance with a goal, and he was integral in their second goal against Kansas City.
You know, we've seen a flurry of offsides calls here in the last 5 minutes. If I asked you, how many times have the Galaxy been offside in this match, what would your guess be?
6 to 8.
6.
6.
You got it. Here's Klein. The ball is bending inside. It rolls to Burpo. again, we drop back into one of those lulls. It's even affecting you and me now. That's when it gets serious.
Well, you know, that's the beauty and the emotion of this game.
The ebbs and flow.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's the most beautiful game, absolutely. Ronzi did a good job avoiding 3 defenders and kept possession of the ball. Holding midfielder.
That's good.
There he is again with it. Moves it across to Tudela. And Tudela retreats.
That's where you miss having that one extra player that you can link it out wide with. I think we saw a couple of times last year, Jim, where LA was the team that had the man advantage, and yet it was their opponent who looked better on the attack. Maybe the shoe's on the other foot here tonight.
Franklin, the cutback. Franklin likes to go to the left. Just kind of a mild effort on that service. And Cummings is down for Colorado. And the crowd with a few boos at first. They didn't think that he should have remained down on the contact. Here it is right here. And, oh, the volley off the foot of Miliuranzi, and it hit him right in the side of the face.
Yes.
So give him a minute to collect himself, absolutely. And he's blinking, and I don't know that he wears contact lenses, but I do, and I'll tell you, when you get hit like that with a ball, that contact lens will just pop right out of your eye.
Does that hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt. It's more annoying than anything else, but yeah, he's pointing at his eye, and sometimes it'll pop halfway out, and you need a little saline to put it back in, but he's going to stay on the pitch, and I would imagine if he was wearing contacts, he'd run over right now and either wash him out or get a spare. You see it all the time in basketball when fingers get poked in the eyes. You whacked me in halftime today, didn't you? Talking with your hands again.
That's right.
71st minute, tied at 2. And really, Mark, I would tell you that the Galaxy cannot afford another draw. Now, certainly you take the point, but you open at home your first 2 games, you want to walk out with 4 points.
Ideally even 6, but after the 2-2 result against DC United, and I think they're going to be kicking themselves a little bit when they go back and look at the tape, in a sense that they did grab a hold of it for a moment on Gordon's goal to make it 2-1 for LA, but what, less than 2 minutes later, they come right back in the other direction. It's that letdown. Goals tend to happen in bunches in this game, and sometimes when a team goes forward and gets their own, they let down just for a moment defensively, and this time Colorado pounced.
Here's Klein. Tries to run Harvey off the ball. Recollects. And the whistle. And a foul on Klein. Crowd, of course, not going to like that one. Again, good work ethic here by Chris Klein.
Veteran just trying to get in behind the younger Jordan Harvey to get to that ball. And I think at the other end, Galaxy fans would want that same call.
You know, getting back to your point, and what we're talking about here are lost opportunities and, in reality, lost points. And you and I have been on that Bataan death march with the Galaxy the last 2 seasons, when they just needed a couple of draws would have got them into the playoffs. Remember, in Chicago, we went to the final line of the regular season 2 seasons ago, and they lost 1-0. They gave up a goal in extra time. What a frustrating run that was. But how about last year, the 12-game skid in the middle without a victory, and the Galaxy just missed out on the playoffs again. So you and I are sensitive to the fact whenever you give up 2 points, give up 3 for a victory, and take 1 for a draw, those are points you can't get back. And we've seen it just cripple the Galaxy's chances for the playoffs. And so points at a premium in this league, in which parity now is across the board. I mean, look what Seattle's done already. You know, you ask people to pick who their favorites are in each conference. You put 5 guys in a room, you come out with 5 different answers.
And along with Galaxy fans, I think hoping that that conversation will be one that will be tabled after a couple of games here early in the season. Because if we're having this same conversation come end of August going into September, then you know that the Galaxy are not going to be in position in the table where they would like to be.
Miliuranzi and Gordon with a nice give and go, but then Miliuranzi either mishit it or just gave it away. Kind of chunked that pass. Here's Cummings the other way now. Cummings with Casey to his right. Connor Casey just outside the area. Steps through, and a good read by Eddie Lewis. Eddie Lewis got right into the passing lane.
Since the goal, the second goal for Colorado by Connor Casey, they haven't really been threatening getting forward. They've hardly even been inside the Galaxy's defensive third. And you would think that with the man advantage, since Kovalenko sent off here in the second half, that they would really dictate the tempo of this match and control possession, but LA's done pretty well so far.
You know, we've talked a bit about Colorado's defense. And last year they were best in MLS in shots allowed, so we expected them to be pretty good. But offensively, you know, you're talking about a team tied for first right now in MLS with 33 shots. They were second in that category. So, you know, I expected them to tilt the field at either end, be real good on that back line and get some opportunities.
And they've done one of two tonight so far.
Exactly. '75th minute now, getting late in the night. Trying to switch it to Connor Casey just outside the area. Has Donovan behind him. Lewis to one side of the big cat, Tony Sane. And taken away by Donovan. Miliaronzi now. A little scissor cut. And too far for Tudela. And that's a turnover. And here's Casey, who just pounds one from outside. Little break in the action. Let's go down to Jackie. Jackie, we were just talking about, how about the legs for the Galaxy? It's a late hour now.
You know, you're right, Jim. One thing that some of the players were telling me is that Coach Bruce Arena had really emphasized that the team's physical condition was not where it should be last year. So one of the changes that he made was bring in a new strength and conditioning coach, that is Ben Yaus. And what Ben has been doing, he's been working with the team extensively during this offseason, and they actually started their training they were one of the first teams to start training this year. They actually started 2 weeks ahead of time from Chivas USA, one of the other teams that practice here, and it's made a whole difference here with the team so far.
Yeah, you know, a lot of teams do that. They'll have voluntary or involuntary where, you know, guys will just kind of work out on their own. They just open the gates, let guys run around the field, kick a few balls at the net. But, yeah, you know, so many of the Galaxy matches were decided, Mark, in the last 10 minutes last year, last 20 minutes for sure. And how many times did we see them give up a couple of points? A victory turned into a draw turned into a loss with a late goal by an opponent. And so Arena saw that, of course, as he sees most things. Coming back, here's Casey, and volleyed away. Excellent play. Omar Gonzalez. Boy, he's your player of the game, isn't he, for the Galaxy? He's made 3 great defensive plays. He's scored a goal.
He's been a stud back there. He's done really well in this game.
And again, I don't want to heap too much praise on a rookie who hasn't even played 2 full matches yet. But the kid has been stellar.
With the exception of, you know, the opening minute there.
And the other rookie who was real good last week on the back line, A.J. De La Garza, who got the start last week, but he's coming off the bench. He is waiting at midfield with the 4th referee. So he'll be in. We believe it'll be for Eddie Lewis. Remember, Jackie was talking about Eddie Lewis would not play all 90 minutes, and here we are nearing the 78th minute. And Lewis just about to finish off his evening.
I think that shows you how much faith and confidence Bruce Arena has in De La Garza. That a 2-2 game, you're down a man with a quarter of an hour left, and you're going to bring in De La Garza to come into the match to finish this one up at the left back spot.
But wasn't this hand played hours before the match started, that you start Eddie Lewis and you know he's going to get to a certain point regardless of what the score is?
Yes.
So he was committed to that.
Well, you never know. You never know. I mean, coaches change their mind on the fly all the time, and just as Jackie had said, it will be Eddie Lewis that comes out here. So he plays, you know, 76, 77 minutes here tonight. That's a pretty good indication that Eddie Lewis is almost back to 100%.
And he gets congratulations there and a thanks from Bruce Arena. I thought Eddie looked really good tonight.
I agree. I think as he gets back to 100%, we'll see more of those attacking runs going forward. You'll see the interchange with him and whoever the left-sided midfielder is.
Off a set piece here, and a scrum right in front of the goal mouth. Now played away by Tudela. Just boots it upfield. There is nobody there. But Preston Grippo is going to come all the way out to play this ball.
And that'll give Los Angeles a chance to reorganize their shape.
You see, De La Garza just looked over at Sane and said, "You want me here?" And Sane said, "Yes, right there." And he looked over to his right, then Sane did, and saw Gonzalez and said, "And I want you right there." And then you have Sean Franklin back there. So you have 2 pure rookies, just greenhorns in their 2nd game. Then you have Franklin in his 2nd season. And then you have the big cat in the middle, Tony Sane. back the other way, onside. Klein, and taken away. Hemelu.
He's got to let that one fly with his left foot. He has to know there's another defender coming on his shoulder.
And you saw the reaction right there as he ran through your screen. He gave a yell and obviously frustrated with himself. You know, when you attack like that, you have the two choices: go now or wait and go. Well, he chose to wait and go.
Well, the well-timed run by Chris Klein off the ball. Colorado was not even suspecting it.
There's Gordon again with the left. Almost a similar play, but actually there was a foul, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. Looks like Gibbs is down. Corey Gibbs for Colorado on the contact with Alan Gordon. Right here. Oh, elbow up in the face.
Just Gordon being the bigger body, backing into a Hemelu.
That's Gordo beating Gordo. He's aggressive, especially balls in the air. He thinks he owns all of them. So now Jacob Peterson comes in for Mehdi Bellucci.
For Gary Smith, the Colorado coach, that's a little bit of a defensive plus. You bring Peterson, he's a young, energetic player. He's not going to bring the creativity that Mehdi Bellucci brings in terms of the no-look passes, trying to slip dangerous balls into space, but he's going to bring a consistent effort in the middle of the park.
Jacob Peterson coming out of that storied Indiana University soccer program, a couple of national championships on the collegiate level. You know, you would think at this point that Gary Smith and Colorado might be saying to themselves, look, we're here for 5 days. They have to come back and play the Galaxy on Tuesday. Let's take the point. Well, now, obviously, they take a goal on a counter or an opportunity, but at this point, they're looking up at a clock. And they kill 13, 14 minutes. They get a point, go back, 2 days of rest, and come back on Tuesday in the U.S. Open Cup.
And it's going to be interesting to see how Bruce goes after the Open Cup. You know, one of the most prestigious and oldest running soccer tournaments in the U.S. in terms of professional level, and a chance for, you know, it's like the FA Cup in England, a chance for some of the PDL teams, USL First Division teams to come in and see if they can make their mark, make their way through to play some of the MLS teams. And a final note on Mehdi Bellucci: 18 touches, 18 contacts here tonight, according to our statistician Aaron, and only 6 completed passes out of those contacts, so only completing 33% of his passes. That's not what you want from a central midfielder.
Donovan just runs Cummings off the ball. Draws 2 defenders, leaves it for Gordon, and then the quick one touch on the outside. De La Garza to Tudela. Tudela with the bluff. Gets pushed right in front of Michael Kennedy. The referee says play on. Colin Clark now. And Franklin beats him. Back and forth we go. 4 possessions in about 15 seconds. Taken away by the Galaxy. They do have some numbers. Can they press forward? And Franklin got run off of it. Galaxy will keep possession as the ball rolls over the touch. You want to see a bit more out of that?
Well, collectively, that was good from LA, because even though they're a man down, they got their number, and the shape was tight. So going forward, they had a lot of attacking options, especially when Tudela had the ball there on the far side as Brian Jordan gets ready to come in here, and he's going to replace Alan Gordon. So I thought they had something going in terms of the mix right there. Sean Franklin just couldn't quite grab a hold of it here in front of the LA bench on the last touch of the sequence to get Chris Klein sprung forward into the attack.
And Galaxy fans watching at home might wonder why you're taking Alan Gordon out. He's an excellent offensive weapon. He's already scored tonight, but remember, he's probably not 100% fit himself coming off an injury.
And he's used to doing running with another striker up top. Being that lone target presence up there right now is how they've had him. He's had to do a lot of running here, and he tired out probably a little quicker than normal.
By the way, Alan Gordon, as he sits down on the bench, we wanted to send along congratulations. He was inducted into the National Junior College Hall of Fame to Yavapai Junior College in Prescott, Arizona. So nice little honor for him in the offseason. Here's Tudela. Slips the ball to Donovan, but back to the goal mouth. Now he spins, takes on a couple, slalom run, and finally Gibbs able to get to it from Colorado.
Here I was thinking you were going to talk about that he got engaged over the offseason.
I was working up to the bigger honors.
Okay.
Another turnover and a takeaway. De La Garza. Fresh legs on the field now for the Galaxy. Along with Brian Jordan. And Brian Jordan is the kind of guy who could give the Galaxy, deliver them the 3 points. Just a missed decision there by Sean Franklin. Looked like he had his eyes upfield. And here's a slip through to Connor Casey. He's got Cummings in the middle of the field. Casey, and he punches it in. And Connor Casey has a hat trick, and Colorado leads 3-2 in the 84th minute.
That's a backbreaker for LA. And
it started on the turnover from Franklin, and I think he was looking ahead and didn't take care of the man right in front of him.
Well, he didn't need to. This is just after Franklin loses it, and then off to the races. Colin Clark perfectly slips it into the space, and now Tony Sanneh just has to pick the poison. Is he going to come to the ball? He lets Saunders come to cut down the angle.
And here's the turnover.
Right there. He didn't need to cut inside. He could have held onto the ball right there. And you can see Franklin just scrambling to try and get back. Clark releases it just at the right time, and now it's 2 versus 1. Casey pulls it back on the left foot, and another easy finish. He's had 2 tap-in finishes tonight on the 3 goals, but I don't think there's any doubt he's making his case for man of the match in this one.
And Connor Casey came in without a goal in the first 2 matches for Colorado. He's a scorer. He has 3 tonight. Still some time here. Mighty Casey has struck again. We talked about it in the pregame show. We called him the Galaxy Killer. We did it last year. It seems like every match against Los Angeles, he shows up. Corner kick now for Donovan. Galaxy have come back once from a goal down. Now they're asked to do it again. Soft service, and just 3 maroon jerseys right there in the middle of the area. And it was Cummings who played it out. Ball popped up, dangerous. Gonzalez kind of whipped on it, just got a piece. All the way to the Galaxy bench. 86th minute. And we were less than satisfied with what looked like the chance to get 2 points. One in the tie to BC and 1 tonight. And now the Galaxy might come up empty.
Tough
Still some soccer to play, yeah.
Tough pill to swallow.
Sanneh. Floats one into the area. Now Uranzi was running onto it along with Brian Jordan. Neither were close to it. And you got a feel for Sean Franklin. You know he's just dying inside on that turnover. Colorado with the counter off the miscue. Here's Franklin. All the way down to Connor Casey. And his 3rd goal. There's Casey with it. 1 touch. We thought Colorado was defensive before. Wait till you see this. Spins around. It's Colin Clark and play it back, and now they'll switch it. Just taking the air out of the ball and let that time melt on the clock.
Force LA to chase. They're down in numbers, and they're down a goal. They have to chase to get possession back.
Kovalenko was sent off with a red card in the 59th minute on a hard tackle on Mehdi Bellucci. Mehdi Bellucci then got a yellow a couple of minutes later. He's since left the game.
That's really where the game changed. You hate to see the referee put their print on the match. But the straight red to Kovalenko forced LA to change their tactics, change their formation. They did pretty well, you know, holding up against that pressure for about 15 to 20 minutes, but eventually it starts to snowball and starts to build up, culminating in the 3rd goal of the night for Connor Casey. And let's give the Rapids credit. They were very patient. I thought that I said that I thought they were going to continue forward, dominate possession, creating their chances. They didn't come forward too many times, but they picked the right moment right there as LA started to try and push forward themselves.
Stayed with the game plan, even when they fell behind 2-1 early here in the 2nd half. And now there's going to be one more substitution for Colorado. And a familiar face to a lot of fans here at the Home Depot Center. Ty Harden played with the Galaxy his rookie season 2 years ago, coming onto the pitch for the Colorado Rapids. He actually stepped away from the game last year to do some missionary work, and now he's returned to MLS. And he was terrific. 2007 Galaxy Defender of the Year.
Had a chance to catch up with Ty when Colorado came here to take on Chivas to open the season on MLS first kick. And he told me he was he missed the game a lot. He was very happy to get an opportunity to get back in. Good to see guys like that come back into the fold. If it's not with LA, he comes back here with Colorado. LA, I think, sent the 2009 allocate 35th pick, but they would later deal that actually to Chivas in the Ante Jazic deal, and then end up, I think, with the 19th overall pick coming in 2009.
There's Ty Harden with it right there. It was fun to watch him develop as a rookie, and especially on the road when he was palling around with Beckham, who kind of took him under his wing. And how about that? He was playing at the University of Washington. A couple months later, he's with the Galaxy and MLS, and his buddy on the team is David Beckham.
Remember, that was when Frank Gallup was getting his chances, his first full season in charge of the team, and he was trying to really figure out defensively how the Galaxy were going to work. Ty Harden became, similar to Sean Franklin last year, the most consistent defender they had in that season.
An overachieving rookie.
Yep.
It was Ty Harden in 07, it was Sean Franklin in 08, and maybe it's going to be Omar Gonzalez in 09. It certainly is so far. Unfortunately for him right now, his first MLS goal tonight may come in a loss. 90th minute. I'll let you know when they tell us about extra time. Colorado, if they get another possession, they're just going to pull that ball to the middle of the field, draw some defenders, kick it wide, just play keep away. And this is one of those bitter losses, at least it's setting up that way, that we all suffered through last year. A late miscue, a giveaway. Well, some good news from the sideline. 5 minutes of extra time for Bruce Arena and the Galaxy to answer back and get the equalizer. They did it against DC. Can they do it again tonight against Colorado? Playing a man down and with little momentum right now. Sane just punts this one. Donovan is there, but he can't get to it. Himalu. Here's Tudela.
Maybe the Galaxy get that one chance on the set piece. Maybe a corner here in 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Going to send everybody forward now. Chip it up over the top. Nobody there for the Galaxy. The ball was served in a bit too early. Into extra time now. Your LA Galaxy presented by Herbalife take on Chivas USA on Saturday, April 11th, 7:30. First match of the 2009 Honda Super Classico. That is brought to you by Herbalife. Select sideline seats, and we talked about this already. $14 to sit right down by the field. Normally those are $75 ducats. 1-8773-GALAXY or LAGalaxy.com.
If you've never been to a Galaxy game, this would be the opportunity to get on, especially for the Super Classico against Chivas.
I got to bow out. I have plans Tuesday night.
Well, Tuesday night, the Open Cup, but the following Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, well, I thought you were asking me to go to both of those. Tuesday night against Colorado. Over the top, Cummings is onside. Cummings got pounded on the shoulder. And that would have been the knockout punch. And then Connor Casey with a shove from behind. This would be Galaxy ball. So, yeah, just to recap again, Colorado here Tuesday night, U.S. Open Cup, Chivas on Saturday night.
When you talk about Tuesday night in the Open Cup, I was saying it earlier, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Bruce lines his team up. A lot of times, coaches use the Open Cup to get some of the younger players a chance.
A chance, Brian Jordan. He just ran past that one. He might have had some space on the outside. Brian Jordan is one of those guys I mentioned before. He's a candidate right now. He's a lightning kind of guy. He can all of a sudden make something happen. High energy guy from Oregon State. We saw him last year come in and save a couple of games late. Real popular with the fans. Played 8 games. He started 4. He had a goal and an assist. Into stoppage time. We expect 3 more minutes. Colorado's gotten a hat trick from Connor Casey. The Galaxy goals from Omar Gonzalez and Alan Gordon. Galaxy now with maybe just 2 or 3 chances left, and here's one right here. Donovan against 3 defenders looking for help. Deflected away and taken away. Himalu.
I think right there is where you maybe see the effect of playing 3 games in 8 days. Landed a brilliant run to get in behind the defense, but tough to keep his balance. You got 2 Colorado defenders converging on you, number 1, and you've also almost completed 270 plus minutes in 8 days.
Yeah, and you go back to DC. He played DC, then he played against El Salvador, then he played against Trinidad and Tobago, and now he's playing here tonight against Colorado. He has another game on Tuesday and another game on Saturday.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bruce gives Landon a rest until Tuesday here in the Open Cup.
I certainly can understand that. Ball was deflected as it was played forward. Donovan running for it. Colorado can hear Donovan's footsteps everywhere. Ty Harden, who certainly knows Landon very well, just kept it out away from him and said, I'm going to take this right into the boards. Chance now. The fans at that end of the bowl starting to come to their feet, asking for the goal, needing the point.
Everybody knows what's coming. The big throw here. Sane coming forward into the area as well. Burpo will be anticipating it.
Gonzalez not wasting a lot of time now. Throws it right in. Ball popped up. Chance. Still a chance. Donovan volleys. And Burpo pulls it out of the air and falls to the field. And a good idea by Donovan. He just kind of lofted it into the traffic, hoping that maybe Burpo would get lost between a couple of his own defenders.
Not a bad idea. A little more air underneath and it probably slips through.
One more time, Klein, back post, jump ball, and Burpo again wins it. Less now than 30 seconds to play, and Burpo's going to hold on to this one for a long time. 3-2 Colorado, 3 goals by Connor Casey. Saunders plays it forward. He has no other choice now. Not a lot of time. Klein. And nobody there for the Galaxy. Jordan trying to create something out of nothing. And that's it. And that's how it'll end. Michael Kennedy, a half-hearted blow into the whistle. Connor Casey, one of the best matches of his life. Connor Casey came in with no goals. He had a hat trick tonight. He is our Herbalife man of the match, and well-deserved, Mark.
Yeah, I don't think there was any question who the Herbalife man of the match is. Connor Casey, from the opening minute with the tap-in right there to give Colorado the 1-0 lead. And then after his team goes behind 2-1, he comes right back. Saunders almost gets a hand on that one, but that makes it 2-2. And then in the waning moments of this match, slips himself inside. Watch the move right here, right-footed, pulling it over onto the left foot. And another easy finish for Colorado's number 9. Hat-trick hero on the night. And well-deserved of our Herbalife man of the match.
And twice for Connor Casey tonight. He goes one-on-one with Saunders and beats him both times. So he's our Herbalife man of the match. Our defensive player of the match, brought to you by ADT, is Omar Gonzalez. And the rookie certainly looks great in his first 2 matches. He played great defensively tonight. Also had his first Major League Soccer goal.
Yeah, he did well back there in the back, but tough to pick a defensive player of the game in a 5-goal game. But he certainly was in the running and gets it here tonight.
We'll take a break. We'll come back, and Jackie Pickering is efforting an interview with that guy right there. Oh, there's no place like Dome. A hat trick for Connor Casey, the Galaxy killer.